Hello everybody, it's Keegan here. I'm back with another video once again, and it's time for another movie review video. It's been a little while since my last movie review video that I did, which was over 3 weeks ago. I was away on vacation, and I did make that last movie review video while I was away, but I haven't gotten around to making a new one since then. But now the wait is finally over. It's time for a new movie review episode. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about 3 films that I saw in theaters recently. So let's talk about them. So the first film we're going to talk about today is the new Zach Krieger film, Weapons. I saw this film last Monday and I thought it was really great, and it definitely lives up to the hype, I must say. Now, Zach Krieger is the same director of movies like Barbarian, which was his previous film, and he also directed movies like Mrs. March and Civil War on Drugs, which those 2 movies are comedies. And then many years after he directed Civil War on Drugs, he decided to start directing horror movies. And Weapons is his second horror film that he has directed. And I gotta say, this one is a big step up from Barbarian, which I did watch Barbarian the day after I saw Weapons, and I thought it was pretty good, but I personally like Weapons better, but Barbarian is still good. I'll probably talk about Barbarian one day, excuse me. And Zach Krieger was also in the TV show The Whitest Kids You Know, which if you haven't watched it, definitely check it out. That show is hilarious. And anyways, there's definitely a lot of hype around this movie, and I gotta say, this movie definitely does live up to the hype, and it's doing really well in the box office, which is really nice to see. It's original, it's creepy, and while I wouldn't call it scary, I would say it's really creepy, and it's definitely one of the finest horror movies you'll see all year, with an interesting premise. Basically, it follows this group of people living in a town where one day a classroom of kids, well, 17 kids to be specific, all go missing in one night at exactly 2:17 a.m. Although there is one child who showed up to class the day after the children all disappear, and everybody is wondering what happened to these kids and who is responsible for their disappearance. And the film is told in the perspective of several different characters throughout this film, and each storyline is divided by chapter by the name of the character, and as the film progresses, it eventually reveals what happens to the children. And don't worry, I'm not going to give away any spoilers. And yeah, it definitely keeps you guessing on what happened to these kids. And I gotta tell you, like, this movie definitely kept me on edge during the 2 hour and 8 minute long runtime. And I thought the reveal of what happened to the kids was really interesting. And yeah, I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was well made, and the acting is really good. Julia Gardner does a great job in this film. Same with Josh Brolin. I think everybody in this movie was fantastic, especially the performances from the child actors. And it's hands down one of the best movies you'll see all year. And it definitely lives up to the hype, I would say. I would recommend you go into this movie as blindly as possible and try to avoid spoilers on the internet, because there is a lot of spoilers, especially on social media, so try to avoid spoilers as much as you can if you're planning to see this movie. There was not 1 minute of this movie where I felt it was dragging on. I thought the runtime was justified for this movie, and I was not at all bored. It kept me engaged throughout the whole film, and it kept me guessing of what happened to these kids and who was responsible. And I gotta say, after watching this movie, I think Zach Krieger is a director to look out for, and I do look forward to see what he makes next. But other than that, I really enjoyed this film, and it's without a doubt one of the best horror films of the year and the decade so far. And I'm giving Weapons an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely check it out if you haven't. Next, I saw the new Naked Gun movie, simply titled The Naked Gun, directed by Akavia Schaefer. And this isn't a remake, it's a reboot of the original movies from the late 80s to the mid 90s. And the original movies were actually based on the TV show Police Squad with Leslie Nielsen, who was also in the original 3 movies. Now, I actually watched the original 3 movies for the first time recently while I was away on my trip, and those movies were hilarious. I never watched the Police Squad TV show, but maybe one day down the road I'll give it a watch. Now, this new film starring Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson, I saw this one on Friday, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was hilarious. It definitely stays true to the original movies, I must say. And this was a lot of fun to see in theaters with a relatively medium-sized crowd. It wasn't like busy when I saw it, but there was a lot of people when I saw it, but not like a packed house, if you know what I mean. Now, I was actually looking forward to this movie when the first trailer dropped, and at the time, when the first trailer dropped, I haven't seen the original movies. And then luckily, Netflix had the original 3 movies, and I checked them all out recently while I was away on my trip, and they were all really funny movies. And in this new film, you got Frank Drebin Jr., played by Liam Neeson, who's trying to stop a rich supervillain who is planning to use a device simply titled the plot device to make humanity fight each other to death so that all the evil billionaires can go hide in a bunker, and once humanity is extinct, they'll restart the world, basically. It's a very silly concept, but that's what the story's about in a nutshell. I really enjoyed this one. It was hilarious. It has the same sense of humor as the original movies, and Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson were great in this movie. And I was actually surprised Liam Neeson was casted for this movie. I thought he did really good. I thought he did a really good job in this movie, and I'd say this is one of his better movies, one of his better, more recent movies, I'd say. The only issue I have with this movie is that there are some jokes that are a little bit dated. Most notably, there is a joke when they were making fun of the Black Eyed Peas, which probably would have worked 15 years ago in like 2010 or something, but it doesn't really work today because the Black Eyed Peas aren't really relevant these days. I don't even know if they still make music. I don't know, and I don't care. But that's really my only minor issue I have with this movie, is that there are some jokes that are just outdated. Like, they're just dated and it just doesn't really work today, if you know what I mean. But aside from that, I really enjoyed this one. I don't think you'd have to watch the original movies to get the plot. I mean, you could check it out, the other movies, if you wanted to, but I just personally watched the first 3 movies first before seeing this new one. And if you've seen the original movies, you know exactly what to expect. Some silly fun with some like really slapstick comedy. If you've seen the other movies, you know what I mean. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. If you enjoyed the original Naked Gun movies, definitely check this one out. I had a lot of fun seeing this one in theaters, and I will definitely check it out again in the future. Anyways, I'm giving The Naked Gun a 7.5 out of 10. And the last film we're going to talk about in this video is the new Ethan Coen film, Honey, Don't. This is the second film that Ethan Coen has directed solo after Drive Away Dolls. Now, Ethan is the brother of Joel Coen, and they are known as the Coen brothers, as you all probably know. They directed great movies together like No Country for Old Men, Fargo, The Big Lebowski, Miller's Crossing, just to name a few. But in recent years, the two brothers have been directing their own movies separately and not together. Joel directed The Tragedy of Macbeth, which I haven't seen, but I heard that one's supposed to be really good. And Ethan Coen has directed Driveway Dolls and this new movie, Honey Don't. Now, I didn't really have any high expectations for Honey Don't because I did watch Driveway Dolls a year ago, and I talked about that on the channel. I didn't really like that movie. It wasn't a very good movie. So I didn't have any high expectations for Honey Don't. So I still saw it anyways, and I saw it on Saturday, the day after it came out. It just came out on Friday. And unsurprisingly, this movie was not very good. In fact, I thought it was terrible, and I honestly thought this was somehow worse than Driveway Dolls. Basically, in this film, you got Margaret Qualley playing a lesbian private investigator who begins to investigate some bizarre deaths connected to this mysterious church in town. And that's the main plot of the movie, pretty much. Margaret Qualley did a good job in the movie for what she had to work with, and I did like the music in the movie. Like, the soundtrack was good, and I especially liked the opening credits. I thought the opening credits for this movie looked really cool. And it's I think this movie's like a callback to some like old detective movies from like the 70s or something. I'm not really sure. But unfortunately, the rest of the movie did not work. The rest of the movie just does not work. The biggest problem I have with this movie is the writing, the plot, and overall the pacing of the movie. First, for starters, the plot is all over the place, and the movie is really inconsistent with the story. It has no idea where it wants to go, and there are way, way too many side plots, and this movie is only 89 minutes, so it's really bloated with the all the different side plots in the film, and it's just really, really inconsistent. And on top of that, I didn't really find it all that funny, and I just really did not like this movie at all. And I honestly think this was worse than Driveway Dolls. I mean, at least Driveway Dolls had a plot, but this movie's plot is just really non-existent. It's just all over the place. I mean, it isn't the worst film I've seen this year, but it's probably the worst film from a Coen brother that I've seen so far. Which is a shame, because the Coen brothers genuinely make great movies together, like I mentioned earlier. But in recent years, they've been making their own projects, and I'm not exactly sure the reason behind that, why the two brothers are working on their own movies separately and not together. I'm not exactly sure why that is. But hopefully one of these days, the two brothers will get back together and start making movies together, like old times. But, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the Tragedy of Macbeth yet, but I hear that one's really good. And people are saying Joel is the better director between Joel and Ethan Coen. And I kind of can see what people mean by that. I mean, Ethan and Joel Coen make great movies together, but Ethan making movies by himself, yeah, he's not as good compared to when he's making movies with his brother, which is a bit of a shame for me to say, but it is what it is. But again, I didn't like this movie. I gave this movie a chance, but I really did not like it at all. It could have been so much better. I mean, if the movie didn't have so many side plots and was more consistent, this might have been a better movie. But at last, it was not very good at all, and I just did not like it. Anyways, I'm giving Honey Don't a 4 out of 10. Well, that's the end of the video, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed. If you guys enjoyed the video, as always, feel free to leave a like, comment below, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos, you guys. But in the meantime, thanks again for watching. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one, everybody. Peace. Bye-bye.